I think, and contrary to like what people say in America, American audiences are better. And every time I say that to Americans, they're just like, "What? Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like every time we played in America, people have like come to the front, like been quiet, clapped in the right places. Like I genuinely think that, and it seems to be a publicly well sort of held view in America that American audiences are really bad, and I don't quite understand that. Well, it kind of started as a solo project with myself doing music in my bedroom, and when I got really into collecting like old folk instruments and things like that, and called sort of zithers and guitars and stuff. And so it started like that, and then I wanted to expand it, so I got in a few other friends of mine to play with me, and just recording in my bedroom, really casual. And we made an album, and a friend of ours had a label and put it out, and it was also very, very DIY. And I mean, it's changed just so dramatically since then. That was like 5 years ago, and it's taken us to like a lot of different areas musically. Like we've changed and sort of moved around styles a lot. But yeah, there's no like amazing story as to how we started, because it was such a gradual progression. I use a lot of like old keyboard sound, like old like Wurlitzer and Rhodes, and organ sounds. I'm really into that sort of. I don't know, it's not like our music's particularly like old sounding or vintage sounding, but those kind of sounds seem to work a lot better than, I don't know, whatever the sort of modern equivalents would be, like sort of old 70s, 60s organs and stuff like that. So I love doing stuff like that, but nowadays it's really just, you know, guitar, bass, drums, bit of Sam plays trumpet, so we have trumpet on some tracks.
It's always interesting to see the comparisons people make. Like some like when kids' parents have been at shows, they've quite often said that we sound like the Stone Roses. That none of us, like the early Stone Roses, I think they mean the first album, but none of us have ever really listened to that. So you know, it's nice to hear that sort of comparison. If it's sort of complimentary, but not what you were thinking at all.
I know all the reasons I said that you're feeling that I'm in circles, but nothing couldn't stop them from running home. I know you've tried to help, but they never ever wanted to feel it. I know all the scriptures, they'll get you in the end.
We recorded 100 Suns in our basement. Basically, we set up our own studio and did it slowly. You know, not particularly focusing on the idea of writing a record, just writing songs together and getting them down. And it fit that EP. You know, it's over maybe a year and a half. We were all just living together, and it feels like a collection of bits and bobs rather than like a crafted piece of music. And we've just finished a new record that we did in a totally different way. You know, we did it, wrote and recorded and mixed in 6 weeks, which was quite a quick turnaround. We were pretty pleased with ourselves for that, compared to a year and a half of writing 8 songs.
Yeah, we wanted to make a sort of complete departure in the way that we wrote our album, because it's always, as Sam said, been like a sort of gradual progress of writing songs once every month, and then sort of realizing at the end of 2 years that you've got an album worth of songs, and then putting it together. And it was we wanted to do something completely different. But with 100 Suns, I think it really captured like what we were about at the time. Like it was a good sort of sort of representation. That's the word. But that things have changed already since then. We're quite a fast-moving band. I mean, we've got different members now. Like Dom has only been in the band a year. So back with 100 Suns, it was 6 people in the band.
The producer that we worked with on the new album said had a nice little metaphysical production chat, and he was talking about how when you're mixing an album, you got to choose which one of your kids. It's like choosing which one of your children to throw out of a car to decide which section of a song, or which instrumentation to use. You're deciding which of your babies to get rid of, and I think it's pretty apt. And
we've gotten rid of a lot of babies.
We have killing a lot of babies.
It's out the window. I was watching a documentary about U2, who I'm not a massive fan of, but Bono was describing how he wrote lyrics and how he wrote melodies and stuff like that, and he said that he yogurted as well, although he didn't use the word yogurting. Anyway, I'll explain what yogurting is. It's just singing without words, and I have a tendency to do that a lot when we're writing songs as a kind of just way of getting around a melody and stuff, and occasionally I might forget lyrics on stage. And so some yogurting will occur there too. But
only very occasionally.
Like once in a blue moon, I'll forget a lyric, and I'll yogurt the rest of it. But I get away with it though. People don't notice. Hey, we're Jonquil and you're watching Baeblemusic.